Well, you look great.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Oh, I'm giving McGrath free advertising.
Yeah, no free advertisement.
Let's get ready for an oil change.
Also Life Podcast, episode 58.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Phoenix.
Here with your boy Chili.
And who do we got today?
Marshall.
Marshall.
Yes,
Mhm.
Marshall.
So where are you from, Marshall?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque.
Mhm.
What brings you out here?
Meth-free living.
Meth free. Is there a lot of meth out there?
You know, Breaking Bad was filmed and the story is set in Albuquerque.
It is.
It's pretty accurate.
I didn't know it was kind of based off of.
Yeah.
You know.
You didn't live there for very long.
No, we came here when I was 2, so
Yeah.
this is all I know.
We should talk about Breaking Bad if you guys like Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty solid.
Love Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
One of the best shows.
the best shows for sure.
I liked El Camino too. A lot of people didn't, but
I didn't-
I watched
I
the
actually
movie.
didn't see that all the way through.
I thought it was like good as a
I'm only at like season 1 of Better Call Saul as well.
I heard that show. Some people say it's better than Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can believe that just because of the
Hard to believe.
nostalgia, but
Mhm.
fair enough. But
That's good shit.
anyway, Marshall.
Mhm.
So how do we know each other? Why are you here today? Ultimately,
Well, I met Christopher in kindergarten.
We call him Chili.
Chili.
So
I met Chili in kindergarten when he was Christopher.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we grew up together.
What was our teacher's name in kindergarten?
Van Weeren.
Van Weeren. That's
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Before I had her, I was like, my teacher's name rhymes with Van Rear End. And that's what I was laughing about going into that.
Yeah. But
Yeah, shades time.
Right.
You know?
I need some sun in here, so my glasses will take
Mhm.
back up.
So that's why I'm here.
Yep.
Mhm.
Kindergarten, and went to school with each other from kindergarten to 12th grade. As soon as that ended,
Mhm.
about half a year later, we moved out to our apartment,
Mhm.
you, me, and Keaton.
Yep.
And we have lived together ever since.
Yeah.
We're into Bonfoy.
So
and now
he's
Galileo.
also part of the school that starts from like K through.
That's right.
Yeah, we went
Yeah.
K through 12 together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
We didn't start really hanging out until like 6th grade though. Something around then.
What was it?
Yeah. Remember we had to do the Iliad project.
Oh, the
why I
board
came
game?
over. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
my
yeah.
parents kept saying like, "We'll come get you in 20 minutes," and then
No,
4 hours
yeah,
later, and your
yeah.
parents were fucking done.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like
Mhm.
from my grade school experience,
Mhm.
what ends up happening is you go to elementary school,
Mhm.
and you would think everyone from elementary school would go to the same middle school,
Mhm.
but they force you to go to different zones based upon your address. And then,
Sure.
most people went to Hammocks that were at my school, Oliver Hoover, but then there's a good portion of them that went to Doolin, which was like rival middle school. And then after Hammocks, you think everyone would go to Varela because the school's like right
there.
next to each other.
Mhm.
Based on the addresses, then you got half of them going to
Mm.
Sunset or Ferguson or whatnot, and so it's a lot of friends you lose contact with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
not
is-
CCA.
yeah.
CCA.
It had its pros and cons. I mean, like,
Yeah, a lot of cons for sure. A lot of
not to get
cons.
too mushy, but I mean, like the bond formed.
Yeah, don't get me
from us
wrong.
being friends
like,
for so long.
So
It's
it's
crazy.
a beautiful thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
in our house, I mean, we've
Yeah.
known each other since what feels like birth.
Yeah.
But
But that also means there was people that we absolutely hated that we had to deal with for 12,
yeah, for
12
real.
fucking years.
That's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. We were
Um,
talking about a few of them on the way over.
yeah,
There was-
dude. But high school was a very interesting time.
Mhm.
We definitely got in a little bit of trouble for
a
sure.
little bit. Here,
How many times were you guys suspended?
I only got suspended once.
I only got suspended once as well.
Yeah.
You tell your story. Your story is more funny.
Yeah. I forget what, but something really pissed me off, and I had never been suspended because we had never really gotten caught for stuff. And I was like, you know what? I need a couple days off. And so I walked into the downstairs men's bathroom and got angry as like hell. And went up to the urinal stall dividers and grabbed them, bent, and ripped them off the walls, all of them. And then these junior hires came in while I was doing that, and and then they like saw that, got all hyped, ran out of the bathroom, And I yanked them all off and then very calmly and neatly laid them against the wall, like all stacked on top of each other.
Okay.
Then I go back to class. Next period, I get called into the principal's office. And he goes, "Did you rip the urinal dividers off the wall?" And I went, "No." And then he went, "Well, here's the thing. Like, we have it on footage." And he showed me the footage. It's like, we have it on camera, you going in. And then these junior hires coming in after you. And then them getting all excited. And we see them come out and they're just on the camera, they're all hyped up going like, "That's crazy." And then we see you come out. And then nobody went into that bathroom until like a janitor came by and saw the urinal dividers were ripped off the walls.
He just got angry and just
Ripped
them
them
off.
right off.
So you got
Suspended.
indoor or outdoor suspension? Did you have
Outdoor.
indoor suspension?
What's indoor suspension?
So you show up to school,
Oh, and they just make you sit in like a room or
they
something?
sit in a room, and then and/or like, you know how like you see those people pick up trash around the city, like
Yeah.
when they
They
do
make you do
community
that.
service, same thing but for the school,
Oh,
scraping gum.
yeah, we never.
No, I didn't do that. No.
Did you guys have tardy think? We called it tardy think.
What's hard to
If you were late to school, they made you sit in a room and you missed that class.
Yeah.
Some people would do it on purpose because they didn't want to.
That's I
Yeah.
feel like that would be.
But like
that
literally,
happened
you
a
can't be
lot.
on your phone. You can't listen to music. You literally sit there, do nothing.
Yeah.
You can't even talk to the people around you.
I missed the max amount of days possible my senior year. I just wouldn't go to school. Yeah.
I didn't skip school until my senior year.
Yeah.
Like, one of my best friends, Greg, he lived across the street from my school.
Mhm.
I get dropped off by my dad, or I would ride bike to school.
Mhm.
And instead of going to school, I get to school, just walk right to Greg's house, play video games till. And like, it's not like I skipped and didn't go to the whole day. I just skipped that class. It was art class.
Yeah.
My art teacher was cool as fuck.
Oh yeah. Most art teachers are
That was like the one good thing about TCA. We had a lot of good,
really good teachers.
teachers.
Yeah.
Some crummy ones as well, but.
What's your best memory from a teacher?
Oh, dude.
I got one for you when you're done.
Like specific memory, that's tough, dude. Honestly, probably junior high. Good old Matt Bronk. Really, like, dude, he's ultimately who Trevor and I with, if you remember the story of how we went to Guatemala. He was our youth leader in that, and we met him because we were in 7th grade or 8th grade history class or whatever. I don't know if there's one in particular, man. Just a whole bunch of different shenanigans going on. Just messing around with them because again, it was such a strict, uptight school. You know, you could swear in the hallway and you could get detention or suspended for it or whatever. And so just being able to go into a classroom with a teacher that was super chill and just shoot the shits. Not a specific memory, but Bronk as a whole was definitely the best teacher.
I could tell you my funniest memory with a teacher. We had this teacher, a history teacher named Mr. Frick. He's an ex-FBI agent.
Ex-FBI?
Yeah, he actually, if you remember, there was like this guy who pulled off this giant scheme and stole all of these senior citizens' retirement funds.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a big thing. He was the guy who caught that fella. But it's my first year having him. I'm in like 8th grade or freshman year, and he's asking all of us what we want to do when we grow up. And at the time, I was like, I want to be a radio host. It's like that would be really fun. Just talking into like a mic and getting paid to do it. Yeah.
Well, you're not getting paid for this, but
Yeah.
it's a dream, isn't it?
Oh yeah. But I tell him that, and he looks at me, he goes, "That's cool. That's not going to happen." And I went, "What?"
Yeah.
And he went, there's so many out there, and it's such a hard field to get into. Like, I would plan on something else. And I went, okay. But he was right. Well,
He was right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, flash 6 months forward, I was like, I don't want to be a radio host. You have to get up at 4 a.m. It's
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had an opportunity to be on what the fuck station? Power 96.5.
Oh yeah.
In
Springs,
Springs?
yeah.
Okay.
I met a girl who just got the job,
Mm.
and she's looking for a co-host, and I was shooting the shit with her, and I told her I had a podcast, and I don't know, I'm impressed, but she invited me for an interview, and I never went.
Oh damn!
Yeah, I got
You're too good for it.
No, I got scared.
I got scared.
I got scared. Like, I mean, as an amateur, I mean, I'm not like a professional podcaster.
No, I got you.
I had like maybe 40 episodes under my belt, and
Sure.
and it was like, what was shocking was like that. I mean, I didn't get the job. I didn't have the job secured, but I got the interview.
Yeah.
She's like, if you impress the people that hired me as much as you've impressed me, then
Getting the interview is a big step.
it's a big step.
Mhm.
But like that was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I
I've never gotten a job based off my resume. There's been multiple jobs where I didn't even bring mine. It was the interview, like getting locked into that.
if I get an interview,
Yeah.
I've never not got a job off of an interview.
It's really about who you know, not what you know.
I always turned it in with the same fucking sleeve, bro.
Oh yeah.
That is pretty professional.
Yeah.
I will say.
It is nice. Duplicates? Okay.
But yeah, I
Because you
always
want it
turn
all
it in.
on one page.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine. It's fine. It's never failed me.
Fair enough.
But yeah, dude. Every job I've ever gotten, again, wasn't because of what I knew. It's because of who I knew.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
a big
the
thing.
connections with the dealership, the connections at old restaurant, and even when I was like 15, umpiring baseball,
Mhm.
I only got that job because I knew someone who was already doing it.
Yeah.
So my first job,
Mhm.
technically my second job, I was working at Sports Authority. Before I was working at Sports Authority, I was shopping at Sports Authority, and then I got the job. I met this guy named Chris, and
It's a good name.
he liked me so much from like just selling me shit. He's like, come in for an interview, you get the job. Yeah, got the job. Then I worked there for 4 years. He had ended up getting fired for whatever reason, and he went and worked at Office Max. This was in Florida, and he hired me. He asked me to come work for him as a manager, so he hired me there. So I didn't even have to really apply. I had the job, and then from there, when he got fired again, there's a trend here. I was just selling printers and computers to this guy, and he's like, how do you like selling? You do a good job. I'm like, yeah, I like it. He's like, have you ever done big commission? Like, big guy done a job that has like big commissions? And I'm like, no. He's like, well, I own a pool company. I would like to interview you, and then I got the job.
Oh yeah.
So I went from there, and I worked there for 3.5 years, designing and selling swimming pools with no experience.
That's gonna be fun.
Like I used like a 3D CAD program.
Yeah,
that's
with
cool.
no experience. I just learned it.
Yeah.
And then left there to come out here to do the greenery. The greenery. And then I needed a job on the books. So I worked at Office Max again, and I'm just doing my job. And the owner of Springs Automotive Group came by, and he needed all these office supplies. And I was like, "Hey man, are you opening a office or something?" He's like, "Yeah, actually I am." I'm like, "What do you do?" He goes, "Oh, I own a car dealership." I'm like, "Are you hiring?" He's like, "Yeah, we actually are." I'm your guy. And then I got hired.
Nice.
And that's how I got in the car business.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
So even though I bring the resume, it's not really necessary.
Sure.
But I will tell you, the summer of 2016, I was just playing with companies' emotions. So there was this thing called Job R, which was like
an app.
It's an app. It was like Tinder for jobs.
That's
You just
hilarious.
swipe. And like I would go on all these interviews and I'd get the job. And I would
Surgeon swipe right.
and then I wouldn't actually go through with the job.
Yeah.
Because I was just doing other things, and these jobs didn't. This is how I do all my interviews, and I recommend this to you. Question them on why would you want to work there?
Oh yeah.
Always
That's
question
step one.
them.
It's a double-sided interview. That's where a lot of people get that mistaken.
You got to tell me why I want to work here at Phil Long Ford and not Honda or Toyota.
Even more in this market where it's an employee market, because employers are struggling to find workers. I'll tell you what. A couple weeks ago, apparently this gal who does casting for movies, commercials, acting that's done here in Colorado saw me do stand-up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was telling a story I tell about my first time getting a massage. She saw me do stand-up, got my number from one of the other comics, and has been trying to get me to do a casting call.
Okay.
Yeah, but it sounds a lot like casting couch.
Tell Phoenix a good one-liner real quick.
A good one-liner?
A good
Okay,
one-liner.
let's hear it.
All right, Phoenix. It's a crazy time to be alive. According to the government, aliens exist, right? And I can now stand up in front of a crowd and say, "Do y'all know what it's like to wake up with morning wood?" And then point to a female in the audience and go, "You know what I'm talking about."
That's because you're a comedian as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, take it then.
Before we get into that, I was supposed to tell my teacher story.
Oh yeah, that's right. Your favorite, yeah.
If Andrew's watching, which I don't know, we got one person watching.
It's Andrew.
I don't know. He just texted me back. That's why I've been on my phone. I've been trying to send it to some people. You should do the same sometimes.
Yes.
Get people to interact live.
Mm-hmm.
I had a teacher in 9th grade. His name was Mr. Abeo. Cool fucking dude, obsessed with Alexander the Great.
Yeah,
It was a world history teacher.
Yeah.
But we're talking any other subject is real short. We but he spent a lot of time on Alexander the Great. That has nothing to do with the story.
Mm.
But I just wanted to give you some backstory on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
In my whole high school career, this is the most memorable story, and I use it still to this day. It's not like he invented this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna butcher it like I always do.
Okay.
So he tells this story. Alcohol's involved, and he's telling this to 9th graders.
Wait. He would drink while he taught?
No.
Oh, maybe.
So he goes and he says, there's a professor and a student.
Mm-hmm.
And the professor goes to the student and says, gather these items.
Mm.
2 mason jars, a bunch of golf balls, some pebbles, some sand, and 2 beers.
Mm-hmm.
Might have heard the story. Anyone heard the story?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you again, even if you haven't. Well, the professor proceeds to tell the student, grab your mason jars and fill them with the golf balls.
Mm.
Okay? So he proceeds to do that. And then he asks the student, are the jars full? And the student replies, yes. He's like, all right, now take the small pebbles and pour them into the jar as much as you can. Okay? Pours them in, shakes it around, gets as much, of these small pebbles in the jar, and then the professor asks the student, are they full?
Mm.
He goes, yes, they are full. He says to the student, grab the sand and fill the jars with sand. Does it, shakes it around, fills it up, and then he asks, the professor asks, is the jar full? The student says, yes. Well, you see, the jar is you. The jars are you.
Mm-hmm.
And the golf balls are the important things in your life. Your significant other, your children, your siblings. Those are your most important things.
Sure.
Okay. Pebbles represent the other things, like, maybe you have a hobby of going to the gym. You love your football team.
Work.
Work, your career. That's what those represent. The sand is everything else. So sounds all philosophical and great.
It does.
And then the student goes, well, what are the 2 beers for? He goes, no matter how much gets in your life that's involved in your life that gets in the way, you always have time for 2 beers. And he pours the 2 beers into the jars. So I've used that legitimately. Like there was one time I get to my friend's house in Orlando, and I'm spending the whole weekend there, and it's basically like like 6 college dudes living in this house, and it's just always a nonstop party. But I just basically, and I get there at 1:30 at night, and everyone's going to bed on a Thursday or Friday night. They're like, nah, we're just gonna go to bed. We'll party tomorrow. I'm like, no, bro, I just drove here to Miami, 3-hour drive, and then I told this story, and then we all drank and drinking games and So I've used that several. That's not the only instance that I used it in. I should have fucking used it on your ass the first night in Las Vegas. No, in the moment it might have.
I heard Vegas was a blast.
It was a good time.
Daniel says chug that White Claw.
Damn, Daniel.
You got to do it for the fans.
For the fan.
Yeah.
I will take a large swig for you, Daniel.
He doesn't love you, Daniel. That's what that means.
So that's my story. That has meant something to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I had some other cool teachers. Usually my history teachers were the coolest teachers.
Always. Or
History
at least
teachers were cool.
History and our French teacher was dope.
Math teachers sucked.
I had a couple good math teachers.
I can't really. I hate math, dude.
I was really good at it.
My credentials in math is like a D in algebra 2, and that's like the highest level of math.
I mean,
math's not mine.
You don't really need it.
Yeah, they're like, you're not always gonna have a calculator.
Yeah.
All right, if you say so.
They were saying that as we had calculus.
Yeah,
This is the funny thing.
Pretty much.
I would have ended up in calculus my senior year if I had taken a math class.
Really?
Senior year. Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck that.
I did college algebra.
Okay.
As far as
Here's a funny story. In elementary, I was in a special math class, right? And I looked around and I saw some other kids that were in our class who had some shortcomings when it came to their social skills. Okay, they were just little special needs. So I would get separated from my class for 1 hour a day and go to this other separate classroom where these guys are playing games and stuff, and I would do math. And I'm sitting there, slap the
Do it.
I can't do it, bro.
I'm sitting there and I'm in this special class, and it took a couple weeks. I was looking around and I was like, I'm the only one.
Is that Corbin?
It's not Corbin. That's Julio.
Renaissance Fitness?
Yeah, that's Julio.
Oh, that's Julio?
Yeah.
Damn, Julio.
But I'm looking around. So basically, they're special. Like, they're not all there.
Okay.
I'm looking around. A couple weeks, I realized I'm the only one out of my friend group, or just like who seems normal, who's going to this class. All throughout elementary, I went through that. About the second year, I was like, oh, I must be retarded. I thought that up until about my sophomore year of high school, when I was talking to a math teacher, and she was like, you got this, Marshall. And I was like, well, no, like, I was in a special needs math class. Like, I'm not all here. I don't think I must have something going on. And she pulled it up, and it turns out, like, I was just really good at math. But for years, I thought I was retarded. Yeah, because nobody told me, like, you're just in here because you're really good, and they're in here because they're really good at math. Nobody told that
Are
to
you
me.
sure?
I'm-
Are you sure someone?
I'm dead serious. Unless they lied to me then.
That's
what
what I was saying.
I'm not ashamed of this. In elementary school, I was in like, I guess, special needs classes, I guess.
I was in one too for like reading.
Read,
It was reading out loud that I had a problem with.
Well, the thing is, my reading comprehension was fine, but like, they didn't do the proper investigation of like, you know, what was actually wrong with me and how I learned, and really, I just had to figure out how to learn differently. I never got diagnosed, but I know for a fact that I have ADD.
Oh, okay. Well, most people
100%.
are like around their age.
I definitely had ADD, and I was in all these classes, and for the most part, the kids I was in class with were like, I feel bad because some of them were my friends, but a lot of them, not all of them, were dumb.
Hey.
Dumb as shit. And I'm in these classes, I'm like, why the fuck am I in these classes? Doesn't make any sense. So I had to retain information. I made rhymes. I just
Like what grade is this?
all throughout elementary
Okay.
school and maybe the first year of middle school.
Oh, really?
And what I did was I associated things with music, and then I just started memorizing things. And I got into the honors program in math. So I went from like these like special needs classes, and then I got into regular classes and all the other stuff too. But I just learned differently.
Yeah.
You know,
Nothing wrong with that.
certain people learn a lot. Things come a lot easier. I have to work a little harder, but I mean, I'm a pretty bright guy. So you gotta have the right teacher, and
That makes a huge difference.
I had a couple of the right teachers that pointed me in the right direction.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. But there's something that we need to address. You know, we're a little limited on time today. The title of the episode.
The drought
What
is
is
over.
the title? Oh.
The drought is
I will
over.
address
Can I? Oh no, yeah, you don't need it.
Yeah.
I do got
relive all those.
I do got one more math story before we get into this.
Yeah, go.
This is gonna dominate the next probably 20 minutes. So me telling you I was really good at math, that was a thing. And in college, I killed it in math too. And I think I was probably 6 to 8 years removed from college at the time.
Okay.
And my ex-girlfriend, you know, she was my girlfriend at the time, she was having trouble with her college algebra. And I'm like, I'm great at math. Like, bring that over here. I got this. I'll do this shit for you. And I looked at it and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like I couldn't remember any formulas, nothing.
No.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Oh, yeah,
1,000%. It looked like I was looking at a different language. It was not even like anything I could comprehend.
Damn.
But yeah, we'll move on to.
I'll say at this point, I have a bunch of nieces and nephews. One of them's in 6th grade. He was asking for some help. 6th grade. It's like very small, easy math. You know.
Yeah.
I'm struggling. It's
Yeah.
It's not great.
If I have kids, I will not be able.
Oh, look at how they do long division now.
It's
Completely
ridiculous.
different.
It's more steps.
Yeah, it's like 10 more steps.
It's not just the.
No. It's why would they even?
They do this over here, and then tie that back into this, and then that.
They make a chart.
Yeah.
They make a fucking chart for no reason.
Like a 4x4.
Yeah, it's the
ridiculous.
dumbest thing. I know it's what the whole idea is to try to teach people that there's more than one way to do something.
Sure. And there is.
Well, I think it's also because I think this next generation that's coming through and getting taught, from what I've heard, is having struggling to picture it in math, with math. And when we were doing that long division, it was just a picture in your head, at least for me, and you would just go and do it. But this visualizes it for them at the beginning. They're starting to teach kids coding. That's going to be implemented in elementary. Yeah,
I'll tell you, kids are smarter today. Like they get smarter at a faster rate, but at the same time they lack certain skills. And when I say skills, mostly social skills.
Yeah.
That we have and a generation before us has.
Yeah.
But yeah,
definitely.
Lydiana, she's 5 years old and she is smart as hell.
Yeah.
And I would say a lot of it comes from this damn tablet. She's addicted to. But she doesn't just watch garbage. She does watch a lot of garbage, but she watches like stuff that teaches her shit.
For sure.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And learns from it.
Fair enough.
Working it, I imagine.
Yeah, she at 2.5 years old, she's navigating how to get to Elmo.
It is weird though.
Elmo.
One of my nephews, he's still getting potty trained. He can work a whole tablet and help his mom out with working the tablet, but he can't shit in the toilet to save his life.
See?
That's wild.
Yeah. He's walking around going
Basic
this is
life
how you
skills.
download and save, and then you can drop it over here. Can you change my diaper? It's just it's very backwards.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's some differences, but yeah, the drought.
The drought.
Tell us the story.
The story? It has been about.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is pretty straightforward. It's not. I
straightforward.
don't know if it's really a story.
It's more of, honestly, what the drought meant for me was that I was always doing all right. Even when there was some slumps, there's some low moments. Even right now, I was like, at least.
What Chris is saying is it's always nice to surround yourself with people who are lower than you, so that whenever you're in a low moment, you're like, well, I'm never that.
You gotta have people that are higher. And it's not, that's not necessarily saying, like, as a person, it's just that in that specific field.
Yeah.
Essentially, Marshall hadn't been late in like what, 6 years?
Yeah, I can tell you. So,
It
was a wild.
inconceivable.
It was a wild time, man. All right, like we had our first black president. It was a great moment for this nation. Right.
Yeah.
It's the last year of his term. I get laid, Then a Republican comes into office. All of a sudden, I'm the most hated man in the nation. And then 6 years, nothing.
So from what year to what year? Give me.
That would be 2017. So my very last time was 2 months after graduation. So that was that was the summer of 2017. From that until
Like
5 months. 5 months ago.
Was it 5 months ago?
5 months ago. Yeah, it's been a while.
Maybe not entire 6 years, maybe more like 5, but.
No, it
It's
was
still-
6 years.
Oh, was it?
It was over 6 years. It was over
2017,
17 to-
18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Wow.
couple months over.
Oh man, and
Yeah.
God bless.
but here's the
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
dude. Like Marshall could have gotten laid in some certain circumstances,
Mhm.
but I
He
mean,
fumbled the bat, or whether it's intentional or not. There's definitely
I will
opportunity.
say there was maybe 1 or 2 times that were unintentional, and then there were multiple times that were intentional. Yeah,
because if you stoop to a certain low,
There's
I wouldn't
stooping to a certain
necessarily
low.
say that's better than
yeah,
the drought, but it's a running joke,
yeah.
the Obama administration.
I will
because,
say
because an entire
Mhm.
administration passed.
That is
2 terms. Oh, not quite 2 terms. A term and a half.
Like, bro,
Yeah.
like
I wouldn't
TikTok
turn
didn't
it down.
exist the last time when he previously got paid.
Patrick Mahomes didn't
Patrick
play.
Mahomes wasn't in the NFL.
Nobody
He
knew
hadn't been
about it.
drafted yet.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It a big thing was like I was pretty tired of you meet a girl at a party, you've had a couple drinks, she's had a couple drinks, you're like, she's great. You take her home, things happen. The next day you're like, she's not so great. And you're like, I wish I want to go sleep on the couch now or something like that. And so I was a little bit tired of that. But don't get me wrong, there were definitely low moments where it was like 1 a.m. and I can't tell you how many times I hopped on my phone on the apps and I downloaded every hookup app that is out there. Not dating
Tinder,
app, but like
Bumble.
Sex Now.
Sex Now. I didn't even
There
know that
used
was
to be
a
an app
thing.
called Sex Now. I couldn't find it.
That's pretty direct.
That's
Yeah,
super
yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
right to
it's
the,
super.
That's right to the.
I
right to the-
download those. I swipe right on all the swipes I could get, and then I'd be sitting there. I'd wait 5 minutes, then I'd pull up a web page and kind of take care of it myself, and then I'd go to bed, and then the next day,
Take care of it yourself.
the next day I'd delete
Rub
the
one
app,
out,
and
and
then
then
a couple months later I'd start downloading the apps again.
They
It was a bit of a cycle.
They stole your information.
Probably, yeah.
Well, so I got it narrowed down to my largest drought since I've been active.
Mhm.
78 days.
Mm.
78 days.
That's
I started when I was 20.
it's not. Yeah, it's not even 3 months.
It's
It's
a long.
almost.
That's a long time for me.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Hey,
I mean, I had a couple other droughts that were like 50 something
Yeah,
days,
but 78 is the highest.
78.
That's proceed numbers right there.
Yeah.
You gotta get those numbers up.
No. I will tell you, every drop that I ever had was usually a waterfall that ensued after.
Oh, yes.
Hey, when it rains, it pours, right?
But I would say the last drop that I had was mostly self-inflicted. I was like so focused on me
Mhm.
and like getting in shape and just,
So, I mean, depending on what you're doing, if you're progressing in life and if you're improving, it's not necessarily like there's more than to life than just
because opportunities were there. I didn't want to capitalize because I thought it would cloud my judgment and not make me lose focus.
I will say, after year one, you reach a different level of clarity.
Oh yeah.
That, like, you probably haven't experienced since the last time or the first time you climax in your life.
But
you start feeling like a monk. You're like, I am in touch with like a higher creator right now.
You get in touch with your spiritual side.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the bright side, Marshall,
Mm-hmm.
you finally have a girlfriend now.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
She's a sweet gal.
so far, there's nothing wrong with her.
No, she's
Yeah, so far
Yeah.
she's actually
wonderful.
a super cool gal.
She's taking me out to eat tonight. She's paying for the meal. I had some like good work news. The melting pot.
Nice.
Yeah, like nice place.
Nice.
Yeah, she made reservations
So,
like a month ago.
like you said, when after the drought comes the rain.
Yeah, ordered like it's a celebration, so she ordered like strawberries with chocolate, like dipped in chocolate. Like she's going balls to the wall. Yeah.
And that's the other thing is like there's hope, gentlemen. For
Love is out there.
no one's currently watching,
No.
but for those who are out there
That we'll watch later.
that will watch later,
Love
for
is-
the 50 of you,
Yeah.
there is hope.
Yeah.
Like,
Chris was just commenting to me last week. It was the middle of the night. He had a couple drinks, but still his point was valid. He said, this is a good gal you found. I said, thank you. And he said, yeah, there was a time there for a while. We didn't think he'd ever find one. And he goes, but you did. And that makes me happy.
You had to go through a couple box trolls to find
box trolls.
Hey, it's darkest before the dawn.
It is.
Mhm.
That's funny.
Whatever other cliches.
So you didn't answer it. What's your longest drought?
Oh, dude, probably right now. Like,
Oh.
like, are you talking?
My friend is single.
Purely getting laid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, right now it's been at least 7 months.
Oh, okay. We gotta
because
change
bro.
this.
because of
When
what's
did
in-
Tyreek Hill get traded?
Oh my God!
That's
That's
true.
true, bro. Oh, dude. He had this gal over.
I know the story.
Yeah. Ooh.
I know the story.
She was uncomfortable. Let me tell you, because
He actually called me. He actually called me when I was in because he got traded to the Dolphins.
she
of
was
course. He's a
uncomfortable.
Dolphins fan.
Because Chris immediately
I was devastated.
he had it.
couldn't
She
even-
was gone in his eyes.
He couldn't get hard again. That's the
No,
problem.
No. He can't get
Oh,
hard unless
dude.
the Chiefs are hard.
Think about that for a second. You couldn't get hard because of
No,
the dude.
because of sadness. Because I was sad.
About
I
you.
had nothing.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
you're
that's
about
trying to make it more sus than it was. All right.
You've never had depression sex. If you've had anger sex, like
I've had anger sex before, but
when you're both crying into each other's faces.
I still
Cried
see the
in
shadows in
my
my
mouth.
room.
Yeah.
Can't
Oh,
take
you
away
might-
the love that I gave
But
you.
yeah,
So the music video going.
So yeah, probably right now. That being said, again, there
Oh
are
my God.
there are some box trolls I could hit up, but kind of like what Marshall says,
Staying strong.
like just because you can doesn't mean that you
Yeah.
should. It doesn't mean that it's better.
We could have 12 muffins a day. We could.
Sometimes you just get a scone.
Yeah,
Sometimes
sometimes
you
you
just
just
get it. Sometimes you just
Just
get
the top.
stoned. Oh damn! But like I said, again, I'm in the darkness now, but I can see the light.
Yeah.
And the light right now is Marshall, actually, because I see Marshall and I'm like, damn, dude, I used to like.
I used to shit on them.
So now,
I didn't give you as much shit as some, but it would definitely be.
No, and I'm
brought
not
up.
saying it wasn't valid. Even,
That being said, life like main thing is I'm actually pretty happy right now from like where I've been in my life and certain dark spots.
just until the Chiefs lose in the playoffs, and then he's gonna be in a dark place.
yeah, that'll be.
He's
It won't happen though because they're not gonna lose in the playoffs.
The dangerous
This ain't
level
wood, bro.
after you reach year one of clairvoyance. the biggest problem and what seemed to be like the biggest issue with me getting a gal after that was you lose your filter. Like all those years of trying to get laid, and then you do get laid, you start developing a filter of like what should be said to a girl, what can be said on the date, what leads to what interactions. You lose that filter, and then you reach a point where you're genuinely just like, fuck it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? You don't get laid. It's been a year already. Like, what's another year? And I started saying some outlandish things to women. You were at the party. There was a girl. We were at a work party. Yeah, we were at a work party. There was a girl who's wearing pink eyeshadow, and she was kind of flirting with me a little bit. And I interrupted her and just went, most girls I see who wear like that pink eyeshadow, they look like hookers. And then I went, but you're pulling it off. You look good.
He just told her that she looked like a prostitute.
Yeah, prostitute.
And of course she didn't take that well.
Of course.
And so then the next thing I know, there's rumors being spread amongst the party.
Yeah.
And they get back to me like, yo, Marshall called this girl a prostitute.
I
was
did,
like,
though.
what?
And it was a coworker of his, and yeah, I had like guys coming up to me the whole party going, "Hey, what's going on with this?" And I didn't even hesitate. I
Bro,
told them
was
exactly what happened.
that same night?
Yeah.
So what you're
We'll just
we're not gonna talk about it. So what you're telling me is you have no bedside manner.
You lose all bedside manner. They could be dying, and you're like, "That's a rough way to go." Like that's like I wouldn't wish that on my worst day.
Speaking of bedside manner, it's kind of a dark story, but I'll make it real quick. My brother has no bedside manner, 0. All right, so I just get out of Richie's training. All right.
Well, we were in the same training. You were only there for a day.
One day.
But
I thought about coming back for a second day, but after the events happened, there was no way it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But so I go to my old job to pick up my last check.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there. I get a phone call from one of my brothers. I forward it. I have 3 brothers over there.
Okay.
I get a call from my next brother. I forward it because I'm with friends, from work. I'm talking shit. Then, so my second brother calls. Lionel calls me, and I don't even let him get a word in. I actually answer the phone. So Jason, I forward. Lionel calls. I say, "Hey, yo, I'll call you later." I didn't even let him get a word in. I hung up on him. But he hadn't even known what happened yet either. So then my third brother calls, and then I'm like, wait, never in the history have I gotten a call from 3 brothers at the same time.
Sure.
And at the time, my grandmother was in hospice, so I'm thinking, okay, this got to be grandma. So I'm like, all right, I tell my boys, I'm like, give me a second, I answer this. And my brother Justin, I pick up the phone, I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? He goes, Mom's dead. No, see, this is how I would have done it. I would have said, yo, hey, where you at? Are you driving?
Yeah.
Pull over.
Yeah, pull over.
Just right blunt to the
phone. Just like, boom.
Jesus
I lost it. I dropped the phone. I dropped to my knees, and it was like crazy. But like bedside manner is like huge.
It is
huge.
That's
have an announced chill.
Yeah.
It was. Wait, so you said the second brother didn't even know the news.
What the hell
was he calling about?
Oh, probably like gambling or something like that.
And
then he called again because he had found out.
Damn.
And then it was.
Oh, that's sad.
It was. What I feel like though, not to keep it on the dark subject, but I think my brothers and I have become closer since then. So
as fucked up as it is, that does bring people together.
Yeah. But moral of the story is that
like 2 years is probably the longest you want to go without pussy.
I was gonna say I actually don't really know what the moral of the story is, to be honest.
I think your drought needs to.
Well, the drought will come to an end. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like if we get to a full year, then I'm gonna have to do some, shave my head, do some reflecting.
No, I honestly think your goal should be before the end of the year.
For the end of the year.
Before the end of the year.
I can make it happen.
Before the end of the year.
Just for the pure.
And then prepare for the next drought.
The drought.
Because
You got to harvest the crops.
Yeah.
To prepare for the next crop.
Store those crops. Crops.
we're gonna talk about on our next week's episode. We'll talk about like New Year's resolutions and shit like that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we won't
That's a
focus
good
on
one.
that. But
That's a good one.
let's-
And in fact, I'll probably take off like 5, to be honest.
no, we can wrap it up right now.
Fair enough.
Just before we go, you're a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you currently do stand up?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Where can we see you?
I hit the open mic every week at Oscar Blues.
Oscar Blues?
Yeah, that's probably the
Do they
easiest
only so at that place I've been looking for open mic. Do they
Okay.
only do comedy there or do they do music too?
They do music, but not on Sundays. I don't know if it's open mic
What's
or
that
not.
other place? Because there was
There's Oscar Blues, the pub. That's where you came and saw
The
me.
pub?
He's
Yeah.
not my worst show I've ever done
Jeez.
my entire life.
I saw some decent ones for sure.
I'll come
But
support you. Let me know.
the pub is that was a spot because there's a dude. I remember there's a dude rapping there.
Yeah.
They do open mic for everything, right?
I don't know about anymore. It got shut down for a while, and the new owners, it just started back up.
Because I used to do open mics at Zodiac. I don't know if you
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
Yeah, I think they closed down. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure. COVID
yeah,
was
yeah.
harsh.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I've been doing that for about 5 years now. It is nice. Like I got into it because I was always a big fan of stand up, and I used to have a real big issue expressing my thoughts properly, and like expressing them so that people could understand.
Okay.
Like explaining myself essentially. So it helped out a lot with that. It also was a big form of therapy for me, but it did start off with me just genuinely kind of just getting all the shit I wanted to off my chest. So I would go up in front of the crowd and then just be like, "This is fucked. This is fucked.
It's
You
just
know,
venting.
fuck you," and no jokes. And they would just be sitting there like this, and then I'd go, "Anyway, good night." And like that was about 6 months of that, and then it started actually writing jokes and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
The first funny joke I ever wrote was a one-liner. It was have you ever heard the key to staying young is learning something new every day?
No.
No. Well, it's a saying. I was thinking about that. If that's the case, Alzheimer's has got to be the fountain of youth.
Oh my god.
Mm.
That's fucked up.
It's only fucking jokes.
I have some
Lighthearted jokes.
lighthearted ones.
Tell them the atheist one.
The atheist.
I always thought that
Yeah.
one was
This
humorous.
one's pretty lighthearted, I guess. So my atheist friend came up to me the other day. Said, "Man, I had this terrible dream last night where I died." I said, "Oh fuck, man, what happened next?" He said, "That's it."
Simple.
I think it's funny. Yeah, I heard that. I thought
Yeah.
that was funny.
There's a dirty popsicle stick jokes I wrote that are really bad. It's what do you call a skinny Colorado slut?
What?
Hooters Light.
Coors Light.
What do you call a group of Colorado sluts? Hooters Banquet.
You heard it.
Yeah. We can end on this question, but I just want you boys to think about this. It's like when a bulimic eats pussy, you think they throw up afterwards?
All right. So
this has been an awesome live podcast.
so where can they find you?
For my stand-up?
Yeah.
Nowhere, man. I'm like Seinfeld.
Oh,
You do it, it's in the air, it's gone. I don't
Okay,
film
so-
it, nothing's. There's one thing posted, but I won't plug that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're secretive.
Secret.
So you don't want to be famous.
No, genuinely, like since the beginning.
This is just therapy.
Well, I think it'd be cool to get paid, but I mean, like my top goal for it, I think the coolest thing by far to do with it would be, like locally known. So in the
Okay.
sense of if I walk down the street, somebody'd be like, "Marshall, like hilarious show last night," and I'd give them a wave, and that'd be it.
Well, I know you like to surprise people, but if you ever want someone else in the crowd in your favor, I would.
We'll
Everybody's-
definitely tag along.
Everybody's welcome to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
And
welcome.
if they happen to do music too, I'll hop on.
Okay.
And, do some stuff too.
I might know some
Marshall.
guys like that.
It's been an honor.
Gentlemen.
But before we go,
Mhm.
this is Awesome Life Podcast, episode 58. I'm Mr. Phoenix.
With chili.
Special guest.
Marshall. It's been a pleasure having you on here.
Oh,
And hit the gong.
yeah.
We out. Cut it.
You need to cut it.
Yo, bricks are way too. You need to cut it.